When I was in high school, I found out I was gay. And I hated it. I hated thinking I was born a mistake, or that I wouldn't have a family in 10 years after they find out, or that I had to hide it so I wouldn't get discriminated against. I went to college at 16. I stopped speaking to my family, and I'd maybe text once every 6 months, thinking I had to get ready to not have one in 10 years. All I had were friends who were also just as lost as I was with navigating young adulthood. The university was proud of its progressiveness, but go talk to the students and they're gossiping about whether this guy or that guy is gay because someone saw them getting a little too close with another guy. I never came out because I was scared, and really, it was no one's business. Still, there were rumors and bad experiences. The organization I joined was quietly judging me. One day, there was a truth or dare game I got dragged into. The first thing someone asked me when my turn came was, "Are you gay?" in front of like 15 people. I was stunned, and then I said, "No, I'm straight." And then someone said, "See, guys, he's not gay, he's just soft," while others laughed. Because apparently being gay meant you were soft, and I guess that meant you were weak too. Many people think this way, and so many gay people get slapped with the consequences of this. If you're watching this, maybe you have too. Ever since then, I wondered why people thought I was gay. Was it my voice? Was it how I moved? I kept trying to change my voice. So much research into things like how men normally used vertical vowels, lower larynx positions, less pitch variation. I'd always fail though because people would jokingly say, "Why are you talking like that?" I couldn't do it. It didn't feel like me. And then I tried to change how I'd move. Wrists should never be folded, hips shouldn't move so much, space needs to be asserted. There was a period where I'd get conscious about every move I'd make, even how I pick up a glass of water, and it was debilitating. It never clicked though. One time, a friend said, as a joke, "You're a woman to us, Mikey," and I felt like all my efforts were in vain. This experience is not unique to me. There are many people who aren't out that try their best to hide it every day. And that's not the worst of what's happened, but I won't talk about them now. If you're watching this video as someone who's LGBTQIA+, I feel for your struggles. I know mine wasn't easy, and maybe yours probably isn't either. There were also failed relationships behind closed doors. The feeling of being dirty for being in those relationships. I knew it wasn't wrong, but hiding it made me feel like I was doing something wrong. One night, I wanted to hold my then boyfriend's hand while walking outside, but I got scared because you never know what might happen. This is the reality of being gay for so many people, back then and even now. It's not just that they had to hide to stay safe, but the act of having to hide it. Love feels wrong, like it's tainted. It feels dirty, like even if you know you're not committing a crime, it feels like you are. So I don't look back at those relationships with fondness, and I know I'm not alone in this feeling. Like many other LGBTQIA plus people, I lived with trauma for a really long time. It took 10 years of survival, therapy, and reclaiming myself. I'm healing now. I found friends who'd always support me, and I finally acknowledged that what happened to me in college wasn't my fault. I still hate how I move though. I still hate my voice, the things that give away how gay I am. Because I hate how I'd speak, and people's first impression of me is that I'm gay. Not that I'm smart, not that I'm kind, not any other quality that defines my values. Just that I'm gay. There's nothing wrong with being gay, but I hate that I give that information away so easily. I know I should be proud of it. I should be proud of it. I should be confident. I know I should be confident. That's what pride is for. But my brain is just angry about it instead. I know it's internalized homophobia. This is probably one of the queer experiences that don't get enough representation. We talk about internalized homophobia from the perspective of gay people denying their real identities and becoming homophobic to quote unquote resist it or cope with it. No one ever talks about how queer people who accept themselves can still hate parts of their queerness because of social conditioning. And I'm still angry Viscerally, whenever I think about all of these things, I think about all the students and young adults who aren't lucky as me, the people whose lives didn't go the way they hoped it would because they were part of a minority like the LGBTQIA plus community. People who had dreams and hopes for themselves and their future and instead are burdened with so much trauma in their minds and on their bodies. We live while only mentally, physically, spiritually surviving. Worst of all, many don't even survive. I was one of the lucky ones, but this luck still took 10 years out of my life. I'm turning 30 now, and while you can still say I'm young, you mustn't deny how much more I could have done in my 20s were it not for this. So many people never reached their potential for years, for decades, maybe even their whole lives because of this. And I think that's the saddest thing. The truth is that this could have been remedied for me and many others by a powerful community. People who would tell me, there's nothing wrong with you, and if anyone says so, we're right there with you. This is what pride is for. This is why it's so important. It's more than just a bunch of parades or flags. It's a foundation for community so that people know they are not alone. Pride is for the scared teen wondering why their heart beats so fast when they see their friend of the same sex. Pride is for trans adults hating what they see in the mirror every day. Pride is for the queer person risking it all to leave home, because home is where they might get killed. Pride is for all to see. There are others out there who can make them feel safe and loved. So now, my only hope is that I could live a life where I can help build or maintain that community where I am. If I could stop just one person from going through what I went through or worse, I would know my life and all of my teens and 20s weren't for nothing. How do I get there? I don't know. I figured this video is a start, no? If you got this far, know that you are worth being loved. It doesn't matter how your voice or accent sounds, how you move, how you express yourself. As long as you're not hurting anyone else, you aren't just worthy of love. You deserve it. Not just because of merit, but because you're human. Thank you for listening. Kind of a plug, but I stream interesting games every now and then where I talk more about life, mental health, creative writing, and other interests. Subscribe if you want to be notified for some of them. I still want to make more videos talking about this because even just recording this voiceover, I'm actually crying right now. Editing is hard though, so let's see what happens. Until then, I'll see you.